Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Athena Ali, the Get Noticed coach, career strategist, and government job application specialist. Welcome to my live broadcast today on the differences between a board CV and a public sector CV. Now, before I start today, I would like to do an acknowledgement to country. So, in the spirit of reconciliation, I acknowledge our traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and the community. And I pay respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. Now, in this weekly live, let's find out what the differences are between a board CV and a public sector CV. Now, if you're here live, say hi in the comments down below. If you're watching the replay, I'd love you to add hashtag replay in the comments so I know that you've been here. You can also view this on my YouTube channel if you have any issues accessing this, and I will pop a link down below when I am finished. So it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here live on a Thursday, but I've had quite a number of people come to me recently about board positions. And so I really wanted to talk through the differences between a board CV and a public sector CV. And firstly, is there a difference? And can we use the same CV for a board position as we would for a public sector position? And the answer is we would not. So, and the reason for that is, well, because you're really applying for two different positions. A board position is quite different to what your public sector management or director position will be. It will likely be for different organisations as well. So tailoring your information to that organisation, to that position, or the outcomes they're seeking to achieve are going to be different. There is a little bit of a different look and feel between the two CVs, and I'm going to go through the differences here now. I guess what I want you to understand is that you wouldn't apply for a doctor's position with a CV that was for nursing that you may have done before. So you shouldn't really use the same CV for different roles, is basically my point. Now, public sector, I'll start with public sector CVs. They are traditionally longer. They can be up to 5 pages or however long it's obviously requested in the job ad. Sometimes you're given a 3-page limit, and commonly I see them say that they're happy to accept anywhere between 4 and 5 pages. Now, if they do say 5 pages, only give them 5 pages if you really have 5 pages worth of very relevant experience and information for them to go through. Otherwise, don't give them 5 pages. If you can say what you want to say in 3, please only use 3 pages. The limit is there more for them so that they're not sifting through pages and pages of information that might not be relevant to the role. So a public sector CV typically follows the following format. Now, obviously, this can change depending on the role and the priorities, but essentially these are the things that you will or may find in a public sector CV. So firstly, we look at a professional profile or summary up at the top of the CV. And this is where you'll summarize your personal brand, your vision, your values, your specific areas of expertise, maybe the length of your expertise in terms of time, and how all of this really meets the requirements of the role that you're going for, or perhaps the direction you want to take your career and the things that are important to you. Secondly, we then put in some core competencies, some really key skills, or the skills that you're a real expert in or have really good knowledge of that are really relevant to the role. Then there'd be key achievements. Then we often, people often forget this, but what's really important is to highlight the things that you've done in your roles that have been really extraordinary or over and above what you've done, or things that you've achieved that are really important and relevant to the role that you're applying for. Wherever possible, quantify these so that you stand out, and use action verbs to start your sentences with really makes that sentence pack a punch when somebody reads it. Then we usually typically see a career summary. So, and this sometimes I find can be optional depending on whether you have room in your CV. If your CV is already long, you may not want to include it, but career summaries are really useful. Recruiters or hiring managers just to quickly see what experience you've actually had. And then in the following pages, you would then run through your experience in a little bit more detail. And that detail would be in reverse chronological order, showing what your, what the role was about, in what sort of organisation, and perhaps some key achievements in there as well. Then you'd follow on with qualifications, education, professional development. Maybe you would highlight, put a section in about some board positions you've held, but as it's not a board CV, this wouldn't be a highlight of your CV and would run through towards, the end of your page, maybe your second or third page. You may even want to highlight voluntary work or publications and articles that you've written, or presentations which really display your thought leadership in your area of expertise and the things that you might want to highlight about your particular brand. Now, so that's a little bit more broad. But when we look at a board CV is much more succinct and is really, really targeted to the particular organisation that you're applying to. So it really, really is much more tailored and very board specific. So it typically will start with your profile, a summary of your experience, again, your vision, why, your values, your brand, what you would actually bring to this specific board position, and why your expertise would be great for the board. Looking at your key achievements and a career summary as well. And you'd also summarize relevant qualifications and education. And if you've done any company director courses, it's really crucial to add those in. And also add in your post-nominals. I find a lot of people forget those, and they're really important because they highlight immediately that you have experience for a board or a director role. And then highlighting relevant board experience, relevant non-executive directorships or committee and subcommittee experience, and then looking at your references. Okay, so this type of CV is highly tailored to board experience and non-executive directorships or committee type experience. So the main thing that you need to understand is that there is a difference between the two. They look different, they're formatted differently. Different experience will be highlighted in different sections and on different pages because of who they're being tailored to. You're looking at two different audiences, so you need to market to them differently, okay? And each needs a different set of skills, okay? So, yeah, the organisation that you might be applying for might be different and their priorities might be different, in which case you can't write the same thing in both. So you would need different CVs. They are laid out differently and they are targeted differently as well. So that's what I had to say today about the differences between board CVs and a public sector CVs. And if you have any comments or you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to do so down below. I haven't seen a comment yet. So, but if you do watch the replay of this, add #replay and let me know what your comment is, or if you have any other questions. Of course, if you'd like to work with me, whether it's a board CV or a public sector CV or resume, please contact me. I'll leave my details down below, and I'd love to work with you. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope this has been really helpful to you. See you next time. Bye.